Early morning, housewife Megan heard someone banging hard on her gate. Her son and husband, who were still asleep in their rooms. Megan hurriedly opened the gate. She recognized the man on the threshold immediately. He was the person she wanted to see the least in her life. Standing in front of her was her ex-husband Ryan, who had been sent to prison years ago. He used to look smug and be a rather well-fed man, but now a thin, droopy, and sad man stood before Megan's eyes. "Megan, I'm here. Were you waiting for me? Why didn't you ever visit me in prison?" he asked. Megan knew she would have to answer that question someday, but she had hope until the last minute that Ryan will figure it out alone and not demand an explanation. That didn't happen. "Ryan, there is no need to brush off the past. Talking about it will hurt both of us. I'm glad you're free again, but now you have to live your life and leave us alone," Megan said. "Oh, so? It's not fair. I was in prison, suffering from loneliness and missing my son, and you never once come to me. I said to myself then, well, okay, my wife has a lot of things to do and worry about. She can make time for her husband. And now that that's all over, I've come to you. What's the matter, Megan? What's the big deal? We got divorced in court. But tell me, we didn't want that, did we? Can we appeal the document? The important thing is that we're together now." Ryan began to convince his ex-wife. Megan was getting a little scared. She had already realized that her husband's temper had not improved, but had worsened. He wasn't known for his tact and good behavior before. "Ryan, it's been almost 12 years. Damn it, life moves on. How do you expect me to live alone for 12 years waiting for you? What was there to wait on you for? Remember how you hurt me and my son? Come home drunk and made fights. And how many times did I ask you not to break the law? But you always choose your bad habits. And now, I see you've gotten worse. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk to you," she said and slammed the door. Megan felt that at this point, her ex-husband, now an ex-convict, will not just let her out of his life, so as not to bother her new husband and son. She didn't tell them anything. Ryan, meanwhile, wandered around town for a while, and then quickly found a new company. The new company was better than the one he had before. These were afraid to break the law. He remembered his old group of friends very well. It was a group of 8 tall guys who had fun breaking the law. At first, they just used to chase passerby in a dark alley and rob them of their valuables. Then, they realized it was too easy. One day, after taking an overdose of drugs, Ryan gave his friends a new idea. "There is this girl, my childhood friend. I remember her a little girl when we used to play together. I stayed that small, she grew into a beautiful woman with a big breast. I asked her many times to let me touch her boobs, but she refused. I think she betrayed our friendship. Guys, do you think we should punish this crazy girl? Maybe she will like it. Then she'll come to me," said Ryan in a drug-induced fit. "You have our full support. We'll see how hot your girl is. And maybe we will like her too. Just promise me you will show us your tits too," his friends told him, and they all laughed together. After a couple of hours, the gang of hooligans sat in the alley and waited for the girl, who usually comes back late from music school. Ryan had toughed it all out. The girl didn't even have time to call for help before they covered her mouth with their hand and then abused her. The next day, Ryan was a little worried. He was afraid that his childhood friend might report him to the police, and they will come after him. But the police never come from him. Ryan calmed down then, and after a while, he became interested in other types of serious crime. Now, He was interested in trying murder, but that's all in the distant past. In the life of another guy named Matthew, many happy events are happening. For example, today he got a promotion. In the evening, he decided to call all his friends to a restaurant and celebrate this even noisily. Friends gathered on time. They drank a lot of beer and joked among themselves, as it usually happened in any male company. The conversation gradually went about women. I recently met such a beauty. She is just fire, and day and night do not give me rest. Here right now, she's writing me a message and sending me her crazy photos. But I will not show you them to you, left one of them. And you're good. You must go out before getting married. And then no freedom. Your wife will bother you everywhere, said another comrade who had recently gotten married. Hearing their conversation, the third guy decided to express his dissenting opinion. And yes, he had something to say about it. Guys, don't be scared of getting married. What if you get lucky and your wife turns out to be a porn star, like our friend Matthew? Matt, buddy? Tell me, how do you get such a hot woman? I saw an adult video of her in the internet the other day. You tell her I gave her 5 stars on the site, because it was fantastic, he said. Matthew hesitated and asked again, What the hell are you talking about? I don't have Shayla like that. She works as a doctor. She's not a porn star. It will help you if you were confused. Matthew was outraged. Why do I have to make this up? Let me show you this video and you will decide whether you are your wife, suggested a friend. Matthew looked forward to the video. On the other hand, he was very worried because only recently had his wife Shayla accused him of being overly jealous and caused a scandal. Then Matthew had to promise that from now on, he will not make her jealous. A friend quickly found that video and turned it on before everyone. The guys gathered around the screen. From the first second, Matthew recognized his wife Shayla in the video. Judging by the quality of the video, it was taken a long time ago. Shayla is still young. She looked just like she did when they met years ago. After watching this video, Matthew had no desire to hang out with his friends. Guys, thanks everybody. I have to go home, he said, then grabbed his jacket and hurried home. When he got home, his wife Shayla was already asleep. She had set the table in the kitchen. There were a delicious meal for two, an open bottle of champagne, extinguished candles, and untouchable cake. Matthew was instantly angry. He suspected his wife has brought a strange man into the house. He burst into the bathroom and shouted, Shayla, what is this all about? Who was here? He asked. Hello, my love. What are you talking about? Why are you yelling like that? She asked. Because, damn it, you had a romantic dinner here. Do you bring a strange man into our house? How dare you? He yelled. Matthew, I don't understand you. What are you accusing me of? It was my birthday today. You promised me a week ago that we will celebrate it at home in a romantic atmosphere. I set a table and waited for you, but you didn't, she said. It was only now that Matthew come to his senses. He remembered, yes, there had indeed been such a conversation. Shayla also took offense to the fact that he has often forgotten essential family dates. Matthew even remembered that he had promised her to be more attentive, but none of that mattered to him now. You and I need to have a serious talk, he said. If you want to apologize, there is no need. I've had a hard day at work, 3 operations, and I'm exhausted. I want to sleep, Shayla said. No, wait, I have some questions for you. Just tell me honestly, are you cheating on me? He asked, looking into her eyes. Matthew, your jealousy is getting the better of you. How often do I have to tell you I only love you? Everything that came before you shall be in the distant past. Why do you make me so jealous? She asked. Because I found a video on the internet today of you making love to some guy on the street. How can you explain that? How could you live like that? Has the whole town been in a relationship with you? All my friends know about it now. They make fun of me for marrying a porn star, said Matthew. There is no such thing. It's absurd. I've never done it on a camera. This is some kind of mistake, Shayla said, and then she thought about it. I realize you don't want to admit it. Then I can prove it to you. Just think about what you're going to say later, Matthew threatened. Shayla thought about it and realized that this was another scene of her husband's Matthew jealousy. But she had guessed from the beginning that he liked to scandalize. When her friend had warned her about it, she had assured herself that she will never give him a reason to be jealous. Later, she became convinced that her attempts weren't helping anything. If Matthew had come up with some image of himself, it would have been useless to convince him otherwise. The next day, she forgot about their scandal as usual and returned to her work. Meanwhile, Ryan came to see his son again. His ex-wife Megan once again asked him to leave and not get in their way again. But Ryan was determined this time. He stormed into the house and his son Cody heard the noise. When he saw his father, he was overjoyed. Daddy, you're finally here. Did they let you out of jail already? Are you not going to leave us again? Asked his son, hugged him. That all depends on your mother, son. If she doesn't stop me, I will always be with you. But I hear she will marry another man. Then it's not be suitable for both of us. Your mother's new husband won't love you. And your daddy can see you when he wants to, Ryan said. Megan didn't want her ex-husband to socialize with her son. She was afraid that the ex-con could influence her upbringing badly. So she took his hand and showed him out the door. Ryan, this has to stay in the past. Please don't bother us anymore, she said one last time. But Ryan didn't heed her words. He came again and again, and Cody himself reached out to him too. Eventually, Megan started letting them go on walks together. After the walk, Ryan will bring his son home and place him in his mother's arm. They thought that was the end of their relationship. Meanwhile, Matthew called a friend of his named John. This is the guy who often spends time watching hot videos and knows every porn actress by sight. When Matthew reached him, he was out of town. Give me your address and I'll be there soon. This is a critical conversation, Matthew said. As soon as he got the address, he set off immediately. On the evening of the same day, he came to pick up his friend in the neighboring town, who was visiting his grandmother. Older man, what's the matter? Why you suddenly drove the severe talk? John asked. You have to share that video of my wife Shayla with me. It's very important for me to look into this matter. When I tried to talk to her about it, she refused to believe it. She thinks I made the whole thing up. I'm gonna have to show her that video, Matthew said. Oh, just this. You could have told her that on the phone. None of our comrades have that video, but you could have gotten it from any of them, John said, laughing. John, are you out of your mind? Why did you do that? What will they think of my wife now? Matthew said indignantly. Old man, relax. We have all realized by now that this was all of young man's thing. Who doesn't do that? Remember how much fun you used to have when we were in college. Your wife had the same kind of fun, said John. On the drive back, Matthew became furious again. She thought that Shayla could have dated another man sometime in the past clouded his mind. That day, he didn't come home that night. And his wife didn't call him to ask when he was coming home either. It was until morning, as the pub where Matthew had spent the night was closing, that he remembered again that right now his wife could be with the guy she had videotaped in her youth. He was filled with rage. Matthew came home wanting to tell his wife everything and questioned the fate of their future relationship. He woke his wife, sat her down across from him, and pulled out his cell phone. "Here, look at this. Are you going to the night now too? It's you. Who was that guy? How many of these videos have you had?" He was indignant, showing his wife a video from the past. When Shayla saw the horrifying tragic event of many years ago on the screen, she was shocked. She put the phone aside, grabbed her hat, and sat down on the sofa. "Matt, how dare you show me this? It was years ago. That guy raped me. He didn't even get punished. I had to go to therapy for a long time. 5 years ago, I just learned to live again and now wake up with nightmares from that night. Why did you show me this now?" she asked. "I don't believe you were against it. Maybe you were just making money that way back then? Now any accusation can be pinned on him. So I can't trust you anymore," Matthew said. Shayla at this point was tired of convincing him. "Well, get out then. Go away. I don't want to see you again," she said, then took his cell phone and threw it in his face. Matthew left, slamming the door of the house. All night he sat at the bar drinking alcohol. The next day he didn't show up for work. He went back to their share house but remembered that he had thrown his keys on the floor when he left, and now he couldn't get into the house. He got angry again and decided to drive to a bar. Matthew remembered hitting the gas pedal harder and harder to calm his rage. And then it all happened in a blur. That evening, Ryan took his son Cody for another walk. Megan was now freely letting him go with him. While they were away, she spent time with her boyfriend, but her son was late tonight for some reasons. Megan went to her ex-husband's house to find out what was wrong, and there, they told her that the boyfriend had recently moved out. She was scared that she might not see her son again, because her ex-husband might be planning to kidnap her son. It must be why he made sure to change his residence beforehand. Her boyfriend advised her to call the police and report the child abduction. And just as Megan was about to do that, she got a call on her phone from a medical clinic. "Your son was in a car accident. He's been transported to our clinic. His condition is serious, but our doctors are fighting for him," they said on the phone and hung up. Now Megan was rushing to the medical clinic, and there, unimaginable things were happening. Dr. Shayla planned to have a typical workday today. She usually performs several surgeries a day, and then she will be sure to talk to each patient. But today her plans were thwarted. Toward lunchtime, she heard a commotion in the lobby. A little later, a man burst into her office, holding the bloody body of the teenager in his arms. "Doctor, help us. I'm losing my son. He was hit by the car right in front of me. My son must leave." The man pleaded until he recognized the doctor as his longtime childhood friend. Shayla immediately recognized Ryan, but didn't have time to argue. She pointed her hand toward the operation table and instructed her assistants to check the baby's vital signs immediately. While she planned how to speed up the boy's surgery and save his life, his father sat in utter confusion. He thought that Dr. Shayla might want to take revenge on him and kill his son. The thought made him frighten himself, and then he approached her. "Shayla, I was an idiot. I'm very sorry for the terrible things I do to you then. Forgive me if you can. Save my son, please, don't kill him. I will do anything for him." Ryan began to back. Shayla silently pushed him away from her. and then showed him out of the door. The surgery lasted several hours. Near midnight, a nurse came out to Ryan and told him that his son's life had been saved, and now nothing was in danger. Three days he was past. Ryan never left his son aside, and when he finally saw Shayla, there was only one question he wanted to ask. "I'm grateful to you for saving my son. I thought you might have made him die on purpose, to avenge my meanness." "Why did you decide to help us?" he asked. "Because I'm a doctor. When I see a person who needs my help, I put all my problems aside and get busy saving his life," said Shayla. "But I have one request," said Shayla. "I'm willing to do anything. I promised." Already an hour after Shayla's call, Matthew was at the clinic. She asked him to listen only a few minutes to something about the past from Ryan's lips. When Matthews arrived, Ryan himself told him how it all happened and how he later paid for his crime. After hearing this, Matthew calmed down a bit. "Shayla, honey, I get it now. Why don't we try it again?" he said. Shayla answered with hesitation. "No, Matthew, I can't be with a man who doesn't believe my words. And when he finds out I'm in trouble, he doesn't want to support me. You and I are over." She said goodbye to him, and they never met again. After a while, Shayla met another man and became happy with him.